Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. My name is Amber and you're watching Under My Umbrella. Today we are going to talk about budgeting and financing. Yes, I know, serious topic, but I want this to feel conversational and like you're talking to your homegirl in your living room. So here I am with my wine and the candle going, and let's just jump right in. So I have 5 quick tips. Number 1. Actually talk about finances. Talk about it with your friends, your family, people that you trust. It's important. It gives you good perspective. You can share knowledge. You can evolve. It can give you an understanding of what people are doing with their money, so you can see where you are on the spectrum. Are you spending too much? Are you saving enough? Have you considered a 401k? How do you plan and prepare for vacations? What are your priorities versus what other people's are? I don't think that you should ever, compare, get envious, or get jealous, but I think that you should be aware of what people are doing in your life that you admire, that you value, so you can see, what works best for me. It's also a great way to keep yourself accountable. There are friends and family that I have that I actually share my complete budget with, so that they know, like, Amber, you spent money on what? That wasn't in your budget. You don't have that. So I think sharing and talking about money is extremely important. It's knowledge, it's power, and as you continue to discuss it, you will continue to evolve. Number 2, do it. Make a budget and allocate every dollar in that budget. So when you make a budget and you make $1,200 a month, all of that $1,200 should be allocated to something. There shouldn't just be like, oh, I spent and I did all this, now I just have $800. No, even that leftover money that you just kind of have after all of your bills, allocate that towards something, whether it's to a savings account, a travel account, maybe it's a flex account, whatever. Allocate that towards something. It shouldn't just be sitting by idle for you to be like, oh, I can spend this, because if it's just sitting there and you don't have a thought or a plan, you are gonna spend it, friend. Don't fall into the trap. Number 3, every single time you get paid, you have to revisit your budget. I think that for me, when I set a budget, I make concrete goals. I want to save X amount this year. Maybe it's like $5,000. I want to save $5,000 this year. I want to have, $3,000 maybe of your student loans paid off. Maybe you want to save $1,000 in a travel account. Whatever those goals are for you, it's important to revisit those goals and see where you're at, your progress, and where you're not at. And so for me, when I get paid, pull up my budget sheet and I'll look through everything, and you're like, oh, okay, I can spend this much or I can't spend this much. A lot of the times when we get paid, myself, I'm guilty of this, you're like, oh, I'm balling. I can do something with this. I can spend this money. And it's like, no, friend, you have goals, you have priorities. Don't lose sight of that. So it keeps you, it's a self-accountability. Number 4, have multiple accounts that are reflective of your financial goals. So I actually have 5 accounts. I have 2 savings and 3 checkings. So my 3 checkings is I have an expense account. That's actually the account that my paycheck comes into and where all of my bills are paid. And I take the money that I have allocated towards different things and I disperse it from that account to my different accounts. Number 2 is I have a flex account. And for me, a flex account is about, if you're going out to eat with your friend, if I said, ooh, I want some new shoes, or something that's not really in the budget, but you're like, hey, I want to get this done. If I'm getting my hair done, if I'm getting a manicure, if I have extra costs or extra funds in my expense account, sometimes I'll put it over to my flex account. And then sometimes I might just say, hey, my grandma gave me a check, let me put it in that flex account. And it gives you a good perspective of what you can spend on just, I want this items, because you see a number. So for me, it's been helpful. Number 3 is I have a travel checking. When I travel, I don't want that money to come out of my paycheck, because sometimes that can be a big cost if you're doing a big trip. So I actually I allocate a certain amount from my paycheck every single pay period to that account, so that when I go somewhere, it's also not a headache like, oh, I gotta cough this all up at once. But no, you've been saving little bit by little bit, so it's possible you can do it. My 2 savings accounts are, the first one is my car savings. I am driving an 07 Toyota Camry, and I've been driving it for 10 years, and it is the truth. It's a trooper. It's holding up. It's gonna hold up. It's only got 100 and I believe 35,000 miles on it. But I know that I might need a car eventually, and when I get a car, I want to pay for it in full. I don't want a car payment. So I've been saving little by little for that in preparation for when I do have that expense. The last account is my long-term savings, and that's an account that's the account that I transfer most to every single month. They say that in a long-term savings account or an emergency account, you should have 6 months worth of your full pre-tax salary saved up in the event that something goes wrong. But also life, you want to be able to invest your money and save your money, or pay for things as they come. So that's something that's important to me. Number 5, the last and final thing that I'll tell you guys is life happens. There'll be things that you didn't plan for that come up, and it's great to have things like a long-term savings or other accounts or other things, but sometimes it'll just be something that's a wrench that's thrown at you that you just didn't prepare for. And when that happens, don't freak out. Take your budget, readjust it. If you get off track, that's fine. Set new goals that are more realistic, but still have a plan. You don't want to just go loosey-goosey because life happens. Still have a plan. Check where you are with that, and give yourself some grace. Like I said in the beginning, finances and budgeting is one of those things that you just continuously evolve in. And when you know better, you do better. My pastor said one thing that I just thought was great. He said, if you can't manage a little bit of money, how do you manage more? We all say, oh, I just wish I had more money. I wish I had a bigger salary. But a lot of the time, that's not it. You have to learn how to live life and celebrate life and enjoy life with the resources that you have. It's not always about having more. It's about being smarter and better with what you have. So that's all the budget tips that I have. Let me know what y'all think. Did y'all like this video? Do y'all like talking about budget? Is this something that we want to continuously do from time to time? Do y'all want to have a more detailed version of what my budget looks like? I'd love to know your thoughts. Thanks for tuning in. This is Amber, and until next time. So, I was saying something. Nope. You're gonna do this the whole time, aren't you? You're doing. You gotta go potty. But I'm like filming, so you gotta wait. Cause remember we just went outside. You remember that?